Hi, I'm Chef Taylor, and today we're going to be preparing spinach and artichoke stuffed chicken breast, some brown rice, and vegetable medley. First thing you want to do is wash your hands. Alright, so I already have the brown rice on the stove cooking because it takes about 50 to 60 minutes to fully cook. The vegetables are prepared from frozen, so we don't need to worry about those. The first thing I did was mix up my sun-dried tomato paste and chicken stock. I used about a third cup of the tomato paste and 1 cup of chicken stock. And we're going to clean or chop our mushrooms up, slice those real thin. So we put those inside the chicken breast. You can use baby bella mushrooms as I'm using here, or plain white mushrooms is fine. Large portobello mushrooms also work for medium mushrooms. Then we want to take and clean our spinach up a little bit. Take off the stems and just give that a rough chop so it breaks down a little bit. It's easier to put in the chicken. Set that aside. I have the pre-quartered artichokes that are marinated in oil, and then just the crumbled feta cheese here. And then a little bit of salt and pepper brings up the taste real well. And we'll just take and stuff it with our spinach. Get that in there. So, I kind of keep it towards the center and one side, so as you're rolling it over, it rolls a little bit easier. I'll put our mushrooms in there. What we'll want to do too is we'll want to turn the stovetop on. We're going to sear it in a pan, and then we're basically going to kind of braise it in the saute pan in the tomato chicken stock over there. Turn the stovetop on, get the pan nice and hot. Grab a couple of artichokes here. Break them up a little bit. And finally we'll put our little bit of feta cheese in. It's about 2 to 3 tablespoons of feta cheese. Not too much, but enough so you get the taste in all the bite. Alright. Now, take and have to roll this up. Start to fold it in, and fold the sides a little bit. And I'm trying to keep it as firm as possible and just kind of slowly fold it over. It's kind of tricky. So it might take a couple of attempts before you get it all the way rolled over. Do like that. You can take a couple of toothpicks and stick it through so it doesn't unfold before it all sears together. A couple of toothpicks right through the bottom. Just like that. Alright, so it looks like our pan is hot. go ahead and stick the chicken in there. Let that sear for 2 to 3 minutes on the bottom, and then we'll flip it, and it should get a nice crisp top to it, and then we'll add the tomato stock and the sauce. I'm also going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on top of the chicken before we turn it. Give a little bit of extra flavor for you. So while that's cooking, clean up a little bit. Sorry, it's easier to clean as you go and to keep a straight kitchen. So then after the meal is done, you don't have to worry so much about cleaning up a big mess at the end. Alright, we go ahead and flip the chicken. So you can see the nice golden brown crisp to the top and then the bottom of it. And we'll get the same on the top before we add the tomato sauce. One nice thing to add to this, which I don't have at the moment, would be a dry white wine. Add a nice deglazing to the pan, and also give a little bit of dry flavor to it. It wouldn't be overpowering. Alright, so we can flip it back over now. And what we're going to do is we're going to add our chicken stock with the sun-dried tomato paste. Pour it over the top of the chicken. And we'll reduce the heat to a medium. And we'll cover it and we'll just let it simmer like that. Our chicken has been cooking for a little while. We're going to flip it over and let the top of it cook on the bottom for a little while. I'll get a little bit more of those juices from the tomato chicken stock into the chicken as it's cooking. Alright, so it looks like it's almost done. We'll probably give it a couple more minutes yet. And then what we're going to do is we'll plate it. And while we're plating it, we're going to reduce the sauce that it's cooking in so it's a thicker paste. We'll drizzle it over top of the chicken and it'll be finished product. Looks like it's at about 160 degrees. So we're going to pull it off the burner. And our cutting board here. Now we're going to make the rest of the stock that was in the pan into the sauce for it. So we'll turn the heat up on that. And we'll leave it uncovered so it can cook and some of the moisture will evaporate and the juices will all tighten up and it'll be a nice thick sauce for us. Alright, so we're going to pull out the toothpicks that we use to sear the chicken together. A real nice thick consistency, almost like a spaghetti sauce now. So it's that delicious sun-dried tomato and chicken stock with it flavors all the stuff inside the chicken as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to slice our chicken up on the bias. So we'll fan it out as we plate it, and it'll look real nice. I'm going to slice it probably ½ inch to 3/4 inch thick each slice. And slowly slice it, otherwise it may tend to rip out the bottom where it was folded under. Be careful not to do that. Now what we're going to do is we'll just take and put it out on the plate. And what we're going to do is we'll just fan it around the rice. And we'll just take and drizzle our sauce right over the top of it. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to take and we'll garnish it with some flat leaf parsley. Give a little bit of extra color. And we're also going to take a small tomato, a cherry tomato, and we'll cut a crown into it. Like a very tiny tomato crown. You can do any sort of garnish with this. The flat leaf parsley is nice. It adds color. It's a little bit of flavor you can eat. And then the tomato crown is something I like to do. It adds a lot of character, and it's an intricate cut, as you can see. It's real tiny, but cut a little crown out of it. And then you just put that on top of the plate. Put our vegetables on. I just use the steam fresh vegetables in a bag. It's an easy way to get fresh vegetables. It's nutritious and it's simple, inexpensive. Some of those on the plate there. And there you have it. This is the spinach feta cheese stuffed chicken with brown rice and vegetable medley. And I'm Chef Taylor, and it's been a pleasure cooking for you. I hope you enjoy.